No, I wanted to say thank you, Needsel and Metanoc, for resubscribing. Again, I know that I missed September. Welcome to... I had to work, I had COVID, and we had Big Bad Game-a-thon. That's just kind of the reality, so thank you for those who are supporting anyways. Oh no, people recognize this from GDQ. I think Crappy needs to take us over to the reveal. Crappy, take us! Come on, let's go, 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 go! Oh, watch out, the kitty gonna get ya! Nah, the kitty can't get anyone. Well, everybody, you know what is particularly fitting for NES Pyramid? Maybe the person who gave out the rules for NES Pyramid at our first Kuso Live. Say hello to the GM for our second game, Jeff. It's time. It's time to learn your nightmares. I think it's Jeff. Let me make sure it's Jeff. Do 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 do. Hello there, Jeff.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, good to see ya. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I still hear the beep occasionally when you start talking.
Okay, let me fix that. Hold on.
Okay, like not the biggest deal. I just want you to know you're beeping. Beep, beep, beep. You're like a little truck. Beep, beep, beep. A very small
Okay.
truck. Oh, there
Are
we
we
go.
good now?
Yeah, sounds
There we
great. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been here, so I figured I'd come back with something exciting.
I'm so glad that you showed up for the GM hangout on Thursday, though. It was nice to just chat, and, you know, while you saw other games that I played, I did play that cat game and discovered that during the hangout, so I was really happy that I could give it away and have people complain about it.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of cat games.
Yeah. So, Jeff, I don't know what platform this is that you're saying this game is on.
It's for the Plus4.
What is a Plus4?
It is made by Commodore. It was similar to the C16, which is incompatible with the C64, but was a successor that was less powerful.
Okay. It was a fourth the power.
Yes. So, this is Tomb of Terror. Oh, I guess you can go ahead and put it up now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Say the name.
Tomb of Tarrabash for the Plus4.
Yeah, there is a mummy gonna touch his shoulder and say, "Hey guy, you should leave my tomb." Well, the players are gonna try to figure out how to play this game over the next hour. Whoever does will take the victory. Whoever doesn't, well, obviously doesn't. You know, people are starting to get eliminated in Kusogrand8. The stakes are high, and this match, it looks like we are going to have 2 people eliminated and 2 people moving on. So it's actually pretty high stakes, Jeff.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
I mean, we're this far in Kusogrand8, we gotta start eliminating people, you know?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
So before we get to where we can start, is there anything that I should know about this game?
Better you don't.
Okay, do we have any flashing lights that we need to worry about?
As far as accessibility issues, there aren't any.
Okay.
I think you need to know about.
That's not technically what I was asking about. I was like,
Okay.
but I figured I would because I'm like, I don't know, whatever. It's Commodore-ish.
I mean, there's some beeps and boops that might annoy people, but that's about it.
How can a beep annoy people? Oh, I know how it does. Never mind. I'm taking that back right now, okay? Beeps and boops can sometimes leave you in the dupes.
There's no music, but maybe we can listen to the beeps and boops for a while, and if you get sick of it, then you can put on some music.
Oh, yeah. I very much will let people know when I'm sick of the music.
Good.
Yeah, Jeff, I don't have the patience to beep, beep, boop all day. Unless they're really good beeps and boops.
This game is in English to the extent that it actually has a text,
Ooh.
but it is not an American game. It was made in New Zealand.
Well, they speak English there. Isn't that the national language there?
They do. I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to be under the impression I'm giving out American games.
Fun fact. I'm not sure she's Prime Minister of New Zealand anymore, but there was a New Zealand Prime Minister who was ex-Mormon, and she was amazing. Yeah, she did some fantastic work over there. And I believe she actually stopped being or decided not to run for election because she'd completed what she wanted to do. Which is kind of rare for people in power to be like, yeah, I'll give that up. I'm done. Okay, let me turn this audio on. I need to hear beeps. Luckily, everybody, you have the players up on the screen.
Yet. The beeps will come when they start the game.
Fine, I'll just prepare the beeps. Okay. Beeps are prepared as far as I'm aware. Yeah, Chad is right. I believe it was Jacinda who was the ex-Mormon. Absolutely fantastic individual. She did fantastic. Okay, let me check. As far as I'm aware, as far as I've read. Okay. Are you all ready? Let's see what they say. They're probably going to say no. Because look at this game.
Are we early?
We're actually 5 minutes early.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is rare.
I gave it a weird system and everything worked fine. I mean, fingers crossed.
Yeah, did you have to give out your own emulator as well?
No. See, I thought I was going to, but then it turned out that the Vice package that we use for C64 also supports this core. There's a +4 core in it for whatever reason.
We're doing a countdown, everybody, so spam all of your best ancient Egypt emotes that you can. Any mummies? Anubis. Are there keys?
Yes. Buff Anubis.
Buff Anubis. And here we go. Best of luck to the players. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Jeff. This is gaming.
Yeah. This is hopefully what people expect from me.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me explain a little bit about what's going on here, because it's a bit confusing. It's a platformer, but it's a little bit heavier on the puzzle elements than it might appear at first. So you're this dude, and you walk around, and there are 4 levels, and you're trying to just get to each level. Because they're somewhat non-linear, the way that we're tracking progress is whoever gets to the furthest level wins, but ties are broken by score. But there's a caveat here, because I don't want people just trying to farm for points on level 1. So it only counts if you have that score on the furthest level you've reached.
Okay, so make it far. Wait. So if somebody makes it to level 5 and has 1,000 points, but somebody made it to level 3 and had...
Then level 5 wins.
5,000
Whoever
points?
gets the furthest win.
Okay,
but if two people make it to level 3, and whoever has the highest score on level 3 wins. But if one of those players had a higher score on a run that only made it to level 1, then we're not counting that.
Gotcha.
So everybody just sit there on level 1.
First metric is the latest level that you can get to, how far you make it, and the tiebreaker is score. Good.
Yes. So they have 3 lives, and there are no continues as such, but you can hit F1 to go back to a level that you've been to before.
Okay.
So I expect that our players will will do that. But it could be that strategy-wise, they say, all right, well, you know what, I'm only making it to level 2. I might as well play from scratch on level 1 so I can collect all the level 1 points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it gives them a little bit of, so they're not required to go back to the level they were at, but I think they probably will.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they make it to level 3 and then backtrack to an earlier level in order to grind out points. Are they able to fast forward to other levels, or can you only go backwards?
Yeah, you can hit a button to go forward. The button doesn't let you go backwards, but you can walk back to a previous level.
Okay.
And you'll know when we get to different levels. In addition to the level counter at the top right, the screen changes color. So there are multiple colors in this game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see. Well, I already see multiple colors. Like, we got yellow, we've got darker yellow, kind of a brownish yellow. We've got like red, and then the blue guys. I think that's all the colors you need when it comes to old school video games.
They have a totally different palette when we get to level 2.
Oh, so. Good.
But so here's so some of the things that I think are a little confusing when you're just looking at this game. First of all, there's a lot of things you can go behind, notably staircases. So if you just are staircases on your right and you're just holding right, you'll walk up the staircase. But while you're on the staircase, if you jump, you will fall down to the other side, like behind the staircase, and you can walk through it. So that's not a bug. That's actually in the manual as a suggested hint. And I think that's actually a pretty neat idea.
It's not too bad. Do you have health in this?
It's one hit knockout.
Okay, because I've sometimes seen bullets go through players or something.
So here's what happens. Your bullets can ricochet off of things and hit you again, but when they do hit you, they don't kill you.
Okay.
So you'll see your bullets hitting you again, and they won't do any damage.
Okay, yeah, maybe I
These
just
things
mistook.
I think are supposed to be pillars that are like diagonal stripes.
Yeah.
Those cause ricochets.
The barbershop poles ricochet, okay.
Yes. So as far as making progress, this is something I also thought was interesting. Instead of having like a gate that you need a key to go through, they have like these bars or spikes that come down from the ceiling. And they come down quickly enough that you can't walk through them unless you first hit a switch to slow them down.
Okay.
So it gives you the impression that, hey, maybe if I'm fast enough, I can go through this.
Oh yeah, that's bad design.
Well, I don't think it's bad design. I think it's good design. I think it's neat.
No, in general.
You do it once, you learn. Okay, that's how this works.
Yeah, but if it makes you think that you almost can, then that often
there's no almost.
Oh, there's no almost. In that case, that's fine. If there is almost but not quite, then that usually encourages people to try again until they just.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So
you can't even make
almost
it halfway.
Helps. Good.
You can't even make it halfway, and there's no way to accelerate or anything like that.
Well, luckily we have people who made it the whole way here and are helping to track this match. Our referees, honestly, complete in body and soul, and watching to guarantee we know who takes the victory. The referees for this match are Linker, a tomb of 2 competitors. Whoa. We've also got press play on Donkey Clonk, load, quotation mark Taven, end quotation mark, comma 8, comma 1. We've got Clades isn't keeping up with the Commodore, and finally Nautilecta minus 60. Lots of good names there. My gosh. And right now it looks like all of the players are just trying to figure out level 1. You know, they've got scores. Scores really won't matter until later on, is what I imagine.
Yeah, I think that's right. This is a very difficult game, I think. It's
I believe it.
we'll find out. I mean, like, I could find evidence of people making it to level 2. I think probably somebody's beaten the game because somebody claims a high score, but they didn't say what level but somebody claims a high score that kind of indicates they would have been at the end of the game, but they didn't say what level they got to. So, who knows?
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm taking a look at a website, and it says game endings. This game has an ending.
Yes, it does.
Well,
as far as we know.
According to a single link on a website. Oh, cool. It actually has pictures of the ending. That's awesome as well.
The game's manual or whatever sort of describes this. There are 4 levels, and when you get down to the 4th level, you find the treasure. So it does suggest that there's an ending. I think it was just to distinguish from so many of the arcade-style games that were just like Space Invaders that could go on forever.
That is fair. Yeah, unfortunately, I spoiled the ending for myself. I won't spoil it for all of you, though, in case you want to get there.
Yeah, this game will make a fantastic speedrun for anybody that wants to do that.
Oh, enthralling. I'm sure GDQ would pick it up immediately, you know?
I could see it.
By the way, the game does have lore. You know, what is Tarrabash? What is a tomb? Let's find out. The legendary treasure-filled tomb of Tarrabash has lain undiscovered for centuries, but you, the heroic and resourceful explorer, Indiana Blogs... Oh my... Okay. Well, that's who we are. Have discovered an ancient manuscript that gives you its whereabouts. You journey to Egypt and find the pyramid that houses the tomb, and you check the manuscript for the location. It gives the location of the tomb. It's 4 levels down into the pyramid. But no sooner have you started to search the labyrinthine corridors that you find, to your horror, that the tomb is protected by all manner of booby traps, dead ends, obstacles, mummies, and exotic deadly creatures. You're going to need to draw on all your reserves of courage, strength, and cunning to penetrate to the 4th level and get the treasure. Yeah, there we go. We're Indiana Blogs. That's 2 G's, by the way. Just want you to know. And yes, we are penetrating to the 4th level.
Well, hopefully today. So far, we are on the surface. We're still on level 1. I don't know what some of these enemies are supposed to be. I guess mummies? Maybe?
It said that there were mummies and exotic deadly creatures. So,
okay. Well,
yeah, maybe Jack can help us identify what these exotic deadly creatures are, because they don't look like mummies. And they shoot things. Whoa, level 2? Itching is on the level 2.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's no hope.
There you go, see? Different colors now.
Itching, go right. Okay, you literally can go through the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a pit of acid. You know, I feel like in ancient Egypt, keeping acid in a little pit, it's gonna dissolve the pit over 4,000 or 5,000 years. Like, what kind of rock did they use in Egypt?
I mean, running water will dissolve rock over thousands of years, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's not running. It's still acid. Maybe... Oh, apparently acid-proof pits were more common back then. That's great to know. Okay. Thank you, ancient Egyptians, for giving us technology we didn't even know existed.
So yeah, level 2 has these snakes, which are basically the same as the other enemies. They just look different, but they in this level things spawn a lot more quickly. So if you dawdle, you will find yourself on an area with like 5 snakes all shooting at you, and then you'll be in trouble.
Okay, so it looks like the Great Pyramid of Giza, part of it was made of limestone, which is gonna dissolve. But part of it was also made of granite. Oh, come on, it says 5.5 million tons of limestone, 8,000 tons of granite, so barely any granite at all. 500,000 tons of mortar. Yeah, the pyramid is limestone. It's not gonna hold the acid. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe it's not acid.
Maybe it's like dead snakes. I mean, there are a lot of snakes in here. Gotta have pits for the dead snakes. Oh, the granite's for the acid pits. Thank you, chat. Okay, we're learning.
So we have 3 players that have made it to level 2, and looks like they're probably going to be, at least 2 of them have opted to continue on level 2 when they've died, but you get a bonus life when you finish a level, so that's why people have briefly had 4 lives. Whoa! What's going on with that emulator?
Which one? Bees?
Bees, Louise?
Bees may need to reset. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and add flashing as a warning because this is an old video game.
Okay. I am not exactly sure what happened, but
I'm just telling Bees, you can keep playing, but you can also reset whenever you want. It's completely up to you.
Yeah. If we do have an issue in the game where there's a problem which requires us to put somebody back at level, then we can edit the code for the game. So I almost had the players do that to give themselves more lives, because I thought, hey, we get to see more of the game if they didn't die, but I think they'll be okay with the being able to use F1 to get back. I think they should be fine.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be fine. I love that you're like, we can just hurry and edit the game real quick, you know, easy peasy. But it was easy peasy. Like, this game, I believe it was probably just, like, written in BASIC.
It's an assembly language game, but...
Oh, okay, well, you can do it, Mr. Assembly.
But the +4 actually did have a pretty good BASIC language for it.
Now, 3Hems in chat is saying this is way too complex for BASIC, and I would say, no, it's not. I have seen more complicated games written in BASIC.
I'm impressed with the smooth scrolling for it, though.
Oh, that might be sophisticated, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the C16 / the +4 were capable of, but
less than the C64, so
yeah, and getting smooth scrolling for the Commodore 64 was hard enough. Yeah, now I know a lot of players or a lot of viewers are going to realize that this game seems very difficult. Yeah, we often talk about NES difficulty. Heck, when UFO 50 came out, people were saying, oh, the games are NES hard. And I would say yes, but that doesn't compare with Atari and Commodore hard. Why?
Yes.
Because the games were often much shorter, so to have any type of gameplay at all, to give any like, if you don't want people to beat the game and see everything in 5 minutes, they had to be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Plus, they needed to eat, it's for a lot of developers still in the mindset of playing arcades, where you're trying to eat quarters.
Yeah, there was also the arcade culture, where games lasted not nearly as long. I'd say there are some games probably before this came out that were a significantly longer... Yeah. This came out in 1985, so there have definitely been examples of games before that were longer and successful, but you're dealing with tons of limitations for the Commodore 64, and if people, already had an expectation of difficult games, then it's a lot easier to create something shorter, create what you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. So everybody's doing pretty well to have made it to level 2. Well, I guess we have one person who hasn't at level 2 quite yet, but should be there soon.
Yeah, bees will get there.
But it seems like people are doing pretty well to have gotten to level 2. It's just really brutal. So in terms of the difficulty, some of the things that make this hard, like anything you touch kills you. So like walking into those spikes, even if they're all the way down, you just die instantly. The statues kill you, and the snakes shoot, and then a lot of them will spawn. So it can get to the point where there are just too many of them for you to handle. Like you can't duck, you can't jump over them. You just gotta, not be there.
Yeah.
So, and the timings can be really tight as well for some of these things. Where those the blocks that come up from the ground, so that's where an enemy is spawning. So they spawn at these spawn points. So ideally, you want to just take out the enemy without having to slow down. But if you are going too fast, it could spawn right on top of you.
Okay.
So we don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want that. No.
And then going behind staircases, it makes it a little bit hard visually to figure out where you're supposed to be going. Because you're not sure, okay, that area down below me looks kind of inaccessible, but maybe I can get there anyway, because I can just walk through a staircase.
Okay.
And then things have to be done in a particular order, so you need to flip the switches to slow down the obstacles. But you don't know which switch goes with which obstacle.
Yeah, that's always a little annoying to deal with. Like, I'm not a huge fan of having a switch to flip and it affects something on the entire other side of the level that you can't see. Just, like, it's not fun to me. Why do you think that's fun, developers? Do you think that's enjoyable? Oh, you hear something in a distance. Like, unless people know exactly what it's going to affect, don't do it. Come on.
I'm not sure how else they could have done this. Because it would have been very strange if you required the switches to always be on the same level as, or the same screen.
By the way, I'm looking into the person who made this, and apparently this was Mark Silby, who went and created a computer programming language named Blitz. influence. And
Oh.
yeah, it was used for, from what I can see, Amiga. It was used on Windows. There are several games that used that programming language. I see apparently Chucky Egg. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Possibly Hoverbother, which is something that I know about. Cybernoid 2 may have been written with that computer language. Like, honestly, this guy who made this game appears to have had a huge influence in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this game the influence? No. Probably not.
No, probably not. But you never know. Like, particularly with foreign games, what kind of influence they might have had on the domestic scene. Like, sometimes games, or in a particular country, like this computer, for whatever reason, was really popular in Hungary. So potentially people there would remember it.
I love the sound effects here. Like, the sound effects in this game are very much what you would expect on the Atari. But, it's doing something very simple with probably just a single square wave channel that you're dealing with. And yeah, most of this you would expect this to be an Atari game. Heck, it looks and plays quite a bit like an Atari game.
Yeah, that's the feeling I got from it too.
Yeah. Considering that this guy worked on software, ended up, creating software that contributed to Cybernoid 2, that is something, like, this sounds like Cybernoid and Cybernoid 2. I wouldn't be too surprised that, like, he used some of the influence when creating the programming language in order to, like, make stuff a little bit simpler to make sound effects like this. Oh my gosh. I love Atari sounds, though. This is the sound of my childhood right here, everybody. Listen. Yeah, that's my childhood right there.
I remember those sounds well from my childhood also. It's too bad they'd never really get the coolness factor that, like, later chiptunes, like NES era, has gotten retained.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Probably the most famous game written in his software. Sure, Cybernoid 2 was done. The original Worms.
Oh.
Yeah. Was written on his software. Yeah. In his programming language. Like, can you... I just love it. I would be so excited to create something and then see, like, a game become a legend based off of something that I created. That would be so cool.
Huh. Maybe somebody will recreate this.
Oh, they sure could.
I mean, this had some interesting ideas going for it. It's mostly just the brutal difficulty, but, like, it played fine for a game of that era. I mean, the controls aren't really any more janky than anything else.
Yeah, honestly, it just seems like left, right, up to jump, probably. Yeah. I mean, it does say you can, up to jump, fire button to fire bullet, or else use the following keyboard controls. Z to move left, X to move right, space to jump, and return to fire a bullet. I'm going to use a joystick. Those aren't the best controls.
They're, like, Z and X are pretty common.
Yeah.
And they Oh no, we have a
Itching ran
broken
into it as
emulator.
well. That's okay, Itching. I'm gonna let Itching know that,
They can just.
yeah, you can keep playing, but you can also reset whenever you want.
So we just need to make sure they can get back to level 2.
Okay, and I'm gonna let All Luck No Skill know that as well.
Oh, gee. What is going on here? Everybody's emulator crashing at the same time. If they can't get to... If they can't get back to level 2, then I will tell them how to change the game to do that, which looks like we might need to do that.
Yeah, feel free to... Well, it's like... I don't know if that's necessarily... It's up to you. Yeah, you can go ahead and let them know. I'd say sooner rather than later, but Itching might be trying to grind for a score and then move on to level 2.
Got it. All right, so give me just a second to look up how to do that, and I will give instructions.
Boop. Yeah, in Kusogrand8, like, especially when games tend to be short or extremely difficult, losing a little progress early on isn't the worst thing. Or, heck, before the half-hour mark. Why? Because, you know, we haven't seen anybody beat level 2. We might have some level 2 clears in the near future, but pretty much everybody is tied, and the tiebreaker comes down to score. Being set back can actually be beneficial because it gives you incentive to play through the earlier level and get a higher score before moving on to level 2. So, like, you know, the biggest downside for this, in my opinion, is people getting frustrated and feeling like they're falling behind. But in reality, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. That's for other people, for reference in the future, just in case. I'm going to put on some music, actually. Let's get some jams going on with these sounds. Come on.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Wow, just adding music? This feels like a real game now. Look at it. Yeah, so much action. Come on. Pyramid Indiana blogs, you can do it. Come on, write down all of the history that you're finding and put it up on your blog. I want to see it. Contribute to academic research. Don't get stabbed in the eye. All of those things. Don't dissolve your legs in acid that is being supported specifically by the very little granite that was used in the pyramids. Although that was talking about casing stones. What are casing stones when it comes to pyramids?
I have no idea.
I don't know. But yeah, limestone was the primary material. 100%. Not 100% of the pyramid, but 100% primary material. Yeah, maybe that means that they knew much more about acid than we knew. They also knew about snake teleportation technology. Maybe... Oh my gosh, Stargate was real. I actually really like the idea of the reflective pillars, because if you're walking to the right and a snake spawns behind you, you can just shoot the pillar, have it bounce off and kill the snake so that you don't even have to worry about it. You're just going. You just keep going. speed about going. The players are still continuing. We are past the half-hour mark, and at this point, all the players except for Bees Louise have made it to level 2, except Bees Louise is there now. The current high scores appear to be All Luck No Skill with 1905 as the score. Itching for New Games making it to 1570. Mickey McMike 1345, and finally Bees Louise with 980, now 1,000 points on level 2. So all of the players making a fantastic push at this point. Do 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 do. Congrats, you got the crash. Yay, all 4 players have gotten the crash.
We've all crashed. All right, I just gave them a code. Do it. We'll see. Okay.
Okay, it looks like All Luck No Skill has not used the...
Alright, somebody's already messed up the instructions.
Yeah, that's okay. This is how it goes. Yeah, just hit enter, and then you'll be able to start over. There you go. You gotta use... Okay, apparently that gives a syntax error.
Oh.
From what it looks like. Do they have to have the game loaded first?
Yeah, the game needs to be loaded. They need to be in the game, and then they need to do this.
Okay. So load the game, enter that information, and then run.
Yes. You have to hit Escape Alt F9.
That is a horrifying combination.
Yeah, it's because Escape corresponds with the program break button, the stop break button on the system. Okay. So let's see if this is working.
Yeah, and I would say anybody trying this right now, do they need to actually be in the game rather than the title screen? Like, what do they need to do exactly? We'll go ahead and let you figure that out and share the information with the players, and I will keep everything going. Now, when there is a weird tech issue that people end up doing stuff that wasn't laid out before the match, then sometimes we do give a little bonus time for the players. Of course, that's going to be a call for the referees if they do decide that that's something that is helpful. So we do take things into account when it comes to judging with Kusogrand8, and this wouldn't be the first time that we've run into some really weird issues. Yeah, and it looks like All Luck No Skill is not using the correct carrot there.
Like, this isn't... I don't think they're doing it right.
Yeah.
They should be getting something that looks a lot different than they're getting.
Oh, I mean, if people haven't done it before, then that's understandable if they're not able to do it right.
I don't know why they're still getting that syntax error.
I don't know. It's a little odd. Yeah, don't worry, Jeff. Just do what you need. I'll go ahead and keep commentary going here, and we'll let things get figured out. But yeah, just so you know, everybody watching, for the sake of fairness, we do tend to try to help by giving a little extra time if needed, or figuring something out. Sometimes if bugs affect one player a lot more than another, we give that player a mulligan. It just really depends on the situation, so we'll see what ends up happening here, and the referees are more than welcome to let me know generally about when we have 10 minutes left. That's generally a decent time to share that information. Okay, Alec no skill getting into the game. Bees Louise still trying to figure out what to do at the beginning of level 2. Itching for new games, though, is on level 2 with a really good high score, currently 2,200 points. Probably the best that we've seen so far. And yeah, none of the other scores written in the ref chat, in the ref screen here, appear to be close to that. Itching definitely has the highest score at this point. Do 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 do.
That's very strange. I'm having the same problem now, but it worked when I was trying it last night.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. The Kusogrand8 experience, everybody. You can't go a full, month without having at least some sort of issue. But this is the thing, we're dealing with ancient games. We're dealing with games on platforms that, people haven't really heard of before. We're dealing with things that are sometimes a little bit of an enigma.
Oh, I think I have an idea what the issue is. Alright, let's see if I can get this fixed.
Bam, 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 bam. Okay, Dragon Warrior music. As much as I like you, this is way too long of a loop. Get out of here. Go to something else. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Come on. Come on, Indiana blogs. You can do it. Keep jumping. No, don't walk into the acid, bees. Do 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 do. I appreciate chat sharing information about how to use cheats. How dare you? Do you suggest cheating in Kusogrand8? It's more likely than you'd think.
Okay, I figured out the problem.
Aha.
Let me just double check it works. Oh, that didn't work.
Okay, well, that's great.
I figured out what the problem was, but the cheat code that I have is not working. That's on the cheaters, not me. Let me reset the game and.
Wait, so the
try it
cheaters
again.
had it wrong? How dare you, cheaters?
There's a website that has a cheat code in it, and it seems to not be correct.
Of course there would be a website with a cheat code that's not correct. Hey, oh my gosh, that brings me back to the days of like only having game FAQs in order to like try to figure stuff out, but half of the information about secrets and stuff was incorrect or just stuff that people made up. But you'd go and try it. You had to try it. Like, there was information. Oh, Final Fantasy VI is the biggest one that had a lot. Oh, good.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing that I missed.
Okay, share it with the players before you share it with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear it. It's good. It's good stuff. Womp womp. Whoop. Womp womp. Whoop. Womp womp. Yeah. I know that I was gonna say something interesting. Oh, that's right. Yeah, like information on websites being inaccurate. That's nothing new for some of us. I remember Final Fantasy VI, like having rumors about how to get the secret final dream for Shadow and like all of this stupid stuff they had to do, like go and get the cursed shield to turn into the paladin shield, and then apparently the cursed ring to turn into some other ring. But as it turns out, the cursed ring, you cannot transform it. It is cursed forever. It will never become anything other than the cursed ring. That's just not how it works. There was like supposed information for how to get, what was it? How to find out who Go-Go actually was. I remember playing Ocarina of Time and this rumor about how if you did these specific moves, you could jump behind the temple in like while you're an adult in order to get some secret area. But no, you totally couldn't do that. I tried that for hours. You can't do that.
Okay. All luck, no skill is. It looks correct on their screen so far. There we go. There we go. Okay. So all luck, no skill is back.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep letting the match play out. If for some reason we do need to have results binned, that's something that happens to the best of us. But yeah, we'll get this figured out. We've got less than 15 minutes. Yep.
I think at this point there's not really a need to do it because they're all at level 2, which is the furthest they've been.
Well, that's going to be up to the refs to decide. That's all right. That's why we let them have control. For better or for worse, Jeff. But I don't know. I've still really enjoyed this game so far. Like, in my opinion, even like with the limitations of the console, specifically the +4 being a Commodore 16 game, it's kind of understandable that a game wouldn't be super sophisticated, but actually having a game that like has fairly fluid movement, that has stairs that you can walk behind. Sure, it was kind of a necessity for this game, but that's still like stairs that you can climb and that you can go behind. What kind of madness is this? Who does that in an old school game like this? How do you have the smooth scrolling of the bricks in the background? That's a lot of work. Like, it's honestly pretty technically impressive. Does that mean that it's necessarily a good game? Maybe not, but I'd say that this has not aged well.
No.
Yeah, like, in order to get wine, you have to have a game in a specific condition, okay? You can't just leave grapes outside and expect to have good wine. No, you're probably gonna get diseases from that. No, you gotta take the time, make sure that, like, foreign, gross stuff doesn't get in, like bugs. If you get a bug in your grape juice, it's not gonna be a good wine, okay? Unless it's a tasty bug. I don't know of any tasty bugs, though. Not particularly a fan of eating very many bugs. People are saying that they don't think this was very good at the time. I don't know. 1985.
I would have played this in 1980. I would have played this a lot in 1985.
Heck, I think, like, yeah, same. I mean, I was born in 1985, so give me a couple years, but yeah, I would have, after I was born, I would have played this a bunch.
Particularly if my family had a +4, and that was all we had in our home. Of course I'd play. What
Yeah.
would you be doing?
Oh, I spent hours on, like, Atari 800 XL games that were much worse than this. Yeah, I'd say that for the time, this is actually a game. And I can't really ask for anything else. Like, if this was sold, it was probably a budget title is what I would expect. Considering that the computer itself didn't exist for very long, hopefully this was a budget title.
There was such a thing. I don't know that there were enough. There were like 500 games made for this +4 or C16 system. A lot of them seem to be just ports. So as far as original games, I don't see why this would be considered a budget title. I mean,
as long as I'm not paying more than like $10, sure.
I mean, the whole $10 now, sure. I don't think you could get games that cheaply back then.
Well,
At least not commercially published games.
that's why we copied the floppy.
Yes, that is why we. But this didn't come on a floppy, so you're out of luck.
What did it come on?
An audio cassette.
Copy the audio cassette then. Guess what? We had the technology.
We do. We did have those, yes.
Yeah, it was actually easier than copying floppies. Yeah, and they ruled that we could do that. I think. Pretty sure they did. It was just a lot of propaganda that came out saying, no, don't do that. But it's like, come on.
The refs are conferring about what to do with this match.
Yep. We'll keep everything going, though, and... yeah, that's completely fine. I do want to see this out, and then we will decide if additional time gets given, if this is going to be a rematch. We will completely see. Yeah. But I'm really glad that we have this. This is unlike... I'm trying to think. We've had some side-scroller games before. I can think of some what's his name? Kasten? He made some games for Atari 800 that were a little similar to this, but at the same time, I think this was after, or this game was made before his games. And because of that, like, you know, I can't think of any games really that were super similar to this. This feels like a very unique experience.
Yeah. This is, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of at the time, right? I mean, there were all these C64 games, but they tended to have very particular genres. Right, like I don't even remember seeing anything that looked quite like this on the C64. This like feels more like an Atari game.
Yeah, it looks and sounds like an Atari game. Not even early Atari, I'd say like 5200, 7800, you know, one of the later systems that Atari had. And overall, like, this is a game that I feel like I probably would have played a bunch. It wouldn't have just been a one and done, nah, never returning to this. But we also had a lot of games back in the day that you'd pull up for like 3 or 4 minutes and then you're like, okay, what else am I gonna play? You know, find something else. A lot of the times floppy disks had video game collections that you would play, so, you know, just hit reset, go to a different game in the collection, so that you didn't have to wait through the entire load again. If it was on a floppy, it was a faster load than a cassette, though. Cassettes tended to take a little bit longer. But yeah, a lot of the games I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time with. It was browsing games. If you all have checked out UFO 50, you probably jumped through a bunch of games, you know, play a game for a few minutes and then be like, nah, let's switch to something else. That was my experience as a kid. That's how we did it. And honestly, it slapped. That was the way to do things. And I've missed that feeling. UFO 50 brought that back to me. I'm like, finally, you know, this is my childhood. This is how things went. Not every game is my jam here, and that's fine. You know, I'll probably still load them up and try them out after a while just to see if I miss something that I actually enjoy. But, you know, I'm not obligated to sit there for a long time and play something that feels weird to me at first. I'll get back to it later.
Yeah, the great thing about being able to play computer games now is you can get something like UFO 50, whereas back in the day, you'd have to convince your parents to buy you 50 separate games, and then, you know, they're just insanely expensive. So you just wouldn't have that much to choose from. When you did end up with a game, you were stuck with it. With something like UFO 50, if there's a game that doesn't work for you, you just go into a better one.
Hey, Mickey is on to level 3, and we've got another crash by Bees Louise. I love that game over sound. It's so satisfying. And the game start sound is so good as well.
Oh, I'm glad we got to briefly see level 3 at least.
I mean, we're still seeing it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just the match is over in a couple minutes.
This is horrifying. Like, you've been inside the pyramid so long, you turn pale? You need sunshine. And they're like fat dudes with pistols in their bellies. That reminds me of when I played like old school Half-Life Deathmatch, you know, and used custom skins. I had a Homer Simpson skin, and the gun came out of his belly because they couldn't rig it right. It was great. He was also much taller than most of the other characters in the game, so, like, yeah, it's understandable that they couldn't get the gun positioning. Are the enemies on level 3 supposed to be birds? Sure. Let me lean in real quick.
They look like they're flapping.
They do have beaks. They also have really, really 50s haircuts. I've seen better birds from the day. Sure, they were just like shaped like V's, but they look more like birds than whatever these are.
Consummate V's.
Yeah. Oh, no, Mickey, you died. You're so dead. Well, just to keep everybody updated, and these positions may not matter, but this is what we have right now. Mickey McMike has made the most progress, making it to level 3 and the highest score, 5285. Otherwise, everybody else has made it to level 2, and the scores that we have are Itching with 3765. Then All Luck No Skill with 1905 and Bees Louise with 1205. Of course, we had some technical difficulties during the match, which, you know, is something that you generally don't want to see in Kusogrand8. We try to avoid those, but they're going to happen sometimes. I
knew things were working too well with a weird system and a game that's never been on before.
Yeah, I heard that in your voice earlier, that you're like, yeah, it's a miracle, it just ran. And I'm like, uh-oh, Jeff. I certainly hope other people have played this.
Okay, Bees Louise got the code to work, so...
Itching for New Games also made it to level 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Itching, one of the players that didn't spend very much time dealing with glitches. Understandable that Itching would be ahead of other players.
Well, we should be getting an announcement from our reps momentarily.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much cleared that this is going to be a tube and bin game. That's right. It is official. This game is getting tube and bin with the possibility of coming back once everything is ironed out. But y'all, welcome to a moment in history. That is Tomb of Tarrabash for the +4. A match that mattered so much that we may have it twice. Oh, what an amazing time. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's go ahead and welcome in one of our players. I think Mickey would be welcome to come and chat. And it's a Tubin Bin. GG. Oh my gosh. I should put one of those Tubin Bin emotes in Twitch, okay? Because we gotta celebrate it. Everybody, it's getting the bin. It's getting the bin. Going in the bin. It looks like Mickey McMike is here. Hello, Mickey. Welcome and congrats. You got Tubin binned.
For better or worse, it's not my first time.
Might not be your last time either. Tomb of
Probably
Tarrabash. I had fun with this game. I actually think that for the era, this is kind of a fascinating game.
As a whole, it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be, outside of the crashing.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, during testing that wasn't encountered, so you got to deal with surprises. Yeah, and unfortunately it was those surprises. As it turns out, everybody crashed. And some people crashed more than once. And while there was a workaround because of some unexpected stuff, the workaround didn't work. And largely, like, now that we know the main obstacles of the game, we probably can have this game in the future again. It's just all of those issues are enough that, yeah, you get to play again. Yeah, so what you say that the game wasn't so bad overall. Like, what did you enjoy about the game?
I mean, the game's honestly pretty simple once you get a feel for it. Some people might have noticed that early on I was just kind of messing around with things and intentionally resetting by getting rid of my last life, just trying to figure out what it was. And then once I got there, it was, okay, outside of trying to jump from the top of a staircase to another ledge, everything feels fine, just slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a little slow. Oh my gosh, why are you like this, File Explorer? But that wasn't too unusual, especially with the horizontal scrolling. Jeff was like, I'm amazed that this has any scrolling whatsoever, and I kind of agree. It's, like, looking up the guy who made this, he ended up making a programming language that several games were made, including the original Worms game, using his programming language. So, like, even if this didn't end up being a successful game because it was on a computer that didn't last for very long, or, you know, it just wasn't outstanding, this guy still made a huge contribution. Oh, yeah, there was also the SCP, the original SCP game was built on one of his engines as well. Like, yeah, kind of a legend. His game,
definitely wouldn't
pretty
expect
okay.
it looking at this, but
yeah, I know, right? Was there anything that was particularly bad besides the crash? I kind of enjoyed the crash, honestly. Like, the letters and numbers so good, and anything that
I was
like,
really
felt
confused when I
flawed.
saw that. I was like, what just happened? But no, I mean, as far as the game itself, I already mentioned this briefly, but when you have to jump from a staircase to the top of another ledge, that feels like it's pixel perfect. It's probably not. There's probably a little bit of a range, but it feels pixel perfect. Also, that despawning enemies is a little awkward with the staircases, because if they so much as clip you as you trying to come out of either side, you're just dead.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, as soon as you let many enemies spawn, especially if they're on the floor that you are either on or need to go, you just can't deal with it. You either have to scroll them off the screen, or you're dead. There's just no hope otherwise. Like, you can't shoot fast enough in order to deal with them.
Yeah, there was one section early on in level 2 where you go down, you hit a button, you come back up and around. Coming back up was nearly impossible unless you found a way to reliably despawn the enemies in between them spawning, so you had enough time to get up and clear them out.
Yeah.
That was a headache. Also, level 2 was just so long compared to level 1.
It seemed like you really had to walk back and forth quite a bit in order to really do everything that the game wanted you to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's great to talk to you again. You know, you were the first person who made it to level 3, despite everything that happened here. So I'm glad that you got to come and chat with us a little bit and tell us about your experience there. Again, I'd say that, like, on the original system, this probably would have been one of the better games that came out. It hasn't aged well. It's got problems. But I would probably still play it a bunch. For real.
First I've ever heard of the system entirely.
Yeah, I mean, same. I didn't know that there was a +4 Commodore blah, 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 whatever we're talking about here. So what are you doing these days? Are you streaming over at your own channel?
Not currently, I'm not.
That's all right. Well, I'm glad that you come and play here. Are you playing anything offline that people should know about?
No, I mean, I'm just kind of just chilling, just playing whatever I feel like playing on any given day.
Aha! Well, good. I mean, good way to live. I've been doing a lot of that myself. I finally started getting back into Baldur's Gate 3 because I forgot about its existence for a while, and then I forgot what I was doing in the game, and finally yesterday I was like, okay, time to learn what happened up until this point and then get back into it. So that's my hope. Offline, I'm gonna get through Baldur's Gate 3.
It's a game I would like to play at some point, but I would like to not have my backlog be a mile long before I start it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Mine's lengthy, okay? I don't even think about that anymore. Just forget about the backlog. Play what you want. All right, well, thank you so much, Mickey. And Jeff, thank you for giving the game. It was a genuine joy. Despite the tube and bin, I had a lot of fun.
It's always a pleasure to be here. So,
all right.
take care, and I'll talk to you later.
Take care. See you both later.
Later.
Well, everybody, we're actually ahead of time. I'm going to run an ad. Let's go ahead and take a break, grab some water, use the restroom if you need. We will be right back with the third of 4 matches today. Stay tuned, everybody.